Because I'm white, she asked me to leave the property. It is because I'm white. What else is it? Knock it off. Don't tell me knock it off. I ain't saying nothing. Put them down and leave now. Okay, where you going? Your fear at me for? I'm just wanting to know why she asked me to leave the property. Because I'm white. Because I'm white. You used to put on a mask. When you don't, who's president? I don't know what county you are, but in my county, my sheriff said it's an unlawful mandate. My sheriff said. Okay, guess what? I don't work for Dairy King. I work for the county board. And I'm telling you, this is their qualifications. They make reports. You're not even wearing your mask right. If you want to get to that. No, it's because I'm white. Come here, white. It's because I'm white. It's because I'm white. Okay, this is. I'll put it down. I'll walk back out here. I'll walk back out here. But this is you're racist. Knock it off. I'm not knocking anything off. I need you to ask him in our presence to leave the store. Leave the store and I'll come back in because I'm white. You're doing it.
No, you're not coming in. You're back. Sorry, ma'am.
Shalom. Call Lord Yahweh Bashim El Shai. Double honors to the man that I learned his truth from, starting with the apostles and elders and all the men on down of a great millstone. Yahweh Bashim El Shai Barakatham to the hopefully elect. All right, and basically, man, because I heard an elder, one of the elder brothers that I watch, man, he made a beautiful point. He mentioned how Esau, concerning Esau Edom, all right, he's getting ready to lose everything that he didn't work for, right? Everything that he didn't work for, he's about to lose it all, all right? And again, this is what you're currently witnessing. If you're paying attention to what's going on, man, you know, because this is just one of many videos, and I'm gonna play another clip before I get into the precepts. But this is just one of many of videos out there, man, concerning Esau. Basically them throwing hissy fits and pouting and puffing like little children, because that's the scriptures compare Esau to being like a child, all right, because he has a very childlike, petty-like mindset, all right. The scriptures talk about how the Lord is going to send children to rule over us, and I'm not quoting it verbatim, but again, being that Esau, he has a very childlike mindset, all right, because Esau, again, they know that they're losing their kingdom, all right, and again, this is why they're acting the way that they're acting, all right, again, they're throwing all these hissy fits, all right, because the curses that have been so long upon the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, the Lord talked about how he was going to reverse those curses and put them upon our enemies. And I'm going to get that in Deuteronomy. All right. But nevertheless, this is what you see going on, man. And being at Esau, pretty much, again, going back to one of the elders that I watch, man, everything that they got that they didn't work for, man, they're losing it. And they don't know how to take it. They don't know how to handle it. All right. Because on the flip side, man, for the most part, man, Jake, man, shit, man, nothing for the most part, man, nothing has ever really been easy for us. Nothing has really ever been given to us easily. We had to work for everything, for the most part. That's why, a lot of Jakes, man, a lot of us, we lose job and it's just like, oh, well, on to the next one, but concerning Esau, man, they if they lose a job, man, a lot of times, you hear about how they jumped off bridges and, commit suicide and shoot up the whole place or whatnot, because they don't know how to deal with the curses that the Lord is getting ready to put upon them. And like I said, this is exactly what you're seeing, man, the transitioning, because the scriptures talk about the kingdom being translated, which I'm going to get that as well. But basically Esau coming out of power and, the Lord's rising up Jacob, So I'm going to play this other clip and then I'll get into the precepts. And this is just basically going into how this Edomite, being a crybaby that they are, because again, that's another characteristic, another trait of Esau Edom. All right, they're sore losers. They're the biggest crybabies. All right, we're going to read about it. Where would that be at? It's in Genesis. I just went over this the other day. Talking about how when Isaac was given the blessing to Jacob, Esau, because the blessing originally was supposed to go to Esau because technically he was the firstborn. He came out first, so he was firstborn, and he was supposed to receive the inheritance, right? Typically the firstborn receives an inheritance, but that blessing was given to Jacob. All right, and the scriptures it goes into how Esau, he was basically crying, throwing a hissy fit like the big baby that he is, asking for a blessing, and it says he sought it carefully with tears. All right, cried and wept. He wept bitterly. So I'm gonna play this clip. And slack it, because I was gonna say this is just going into how this Edomite woman not being able to pay for basically medical care.
I've worked for like 17 years. I work all the time. I've been paying medical bills on my son for 9 years since he was born. And he was just diagnosed with type 1 diabetes and has to have insulin every 2 hours. I just got his prescription. It was $1,000. I couldn't pay for it. I now have to go in and tell my 9-year-old son I couldn't pay for it. I work a full-time job. My husband works a full-time job. I work third shift. I go to school during the day. How are you guys making it? Am I the only one struggling?
So you see, and from what it sounds like, she could, they could, well, she could very well be a Jake, but nevertheless, as a whole, speaking concerning Esau Edom, all right, because like I said, concerning her, man, it sounds like, she's she has a husband that has to work, or she has to work full-time jobs, go to school and all that. Sounds like Jake, but nevertheless, like I said, concerning Esau as a whole, man, again, these they're going to start feeling everything that the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, what we've been feeling for so long. All right, they're gonna the curses. I'm gonna go ahead and get into it. These curses, man, they're gonna start feeling it, man. And this is the beautiful thing, about it. All right, let me get this. Not being able to pay for medical. Slacky Deuteronomy, but not being able to pay for medical expenses and things of that nature. All right, not being able to afford medical health care and stuff like that. All right, let me just get into some of these curses. Again, as it's often brought out, when you read the book of Deuteronomy, 28th chapter, you read on down from the 15th verse and on down. This is basically the matter of fact, where's it at? What would that be at? This would be the biggest way of identifying who the chosen people, or this would be the biggest identifier for who the children of Israel are today. All right, because no one else fits these curses other than the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and American Indians. And let me just put this out there. Because, like I said, concerning that Edomite woman, what appeared to be an Edomite woman, like I said, it could very well, she could, very, very well be a Jake, because it's not a thing of color. That's one thing a lot of people get mixed up on, concerning this thing that we teach. It's not about color, so, because a lot of times, you got, the confusion of faces, which would be the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, Jakes, that are scattered amongst the other nations, which if you read in this chapter, the same chapter, all right, it goes into part of the curses that would befall us would be the scattering, the Lord, how he scattered us amongst these other nations. All right. But right here, Deuteronomy 28:46, it says, and they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. All right, because again, if you read this chapter, starting at verse 15 and on down, all the curses that would befall the children of Israel. All right, this is like I said, this is like the biggest identifier of who the chosen seed line would be today. All right, and again, if you read these curses and you match it with who these curses fit upon. It matches up exactly and perfectly. It aligns perfectly with the so-called Black Hispanics and Native American Indians today. All right, but I just wanted to go through some of these curses. Because again, everything that we've had to endure for so long, man, eventually it's going to start, coming. It's going to come to, these other nations. Just bear with me as I, because I'm not going to read a whole bunch of scriptures from this chapter, but I'll read this. Matter of fact, I mean, damn, because all this is good, man, because again, man, these curses, man, they hit us heavy, man, but basically, there's two precepts in particular that I'm thinking about, and I can't quite catch it, so that's why I gotta look for it real quick. So, like I said, just bear with me. Like one of the older brothers said, man, Jake has to learn to be patient, Yeah, this is one. Deuteronomy 20 and verse 59, it says, "Then Yahweh will make thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues of thy seed, even great plagues of long continuance, and sore sickness, and of long continuance." So you see, because, verse 60 says, "Moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt, which thou was afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. Also every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of the law. Then will Yahweh bring upon thee until thou be destroyed." Now, again, this is concerning the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, all right? Because we have a long history of, diabetes, heart, heart problems and cancers and all type of plagues, everything that Jake goes through, man, concerning these sicknesses and these diseases that, is common amongst so-called minority communities. All right. But again, like the second clip I played, all right, her, being that her son caught diabetes, and them not being able to, afford the medical expenses and things of that nature. All right, this is gonna, this is more and more you're gonna start seeing these things. All right, but even more so in the kingdom. All right, the Lord plaguing these different nations, and especially Esau, Edom. All right, they're gonna get it the worst with these different diseases and things of that nature. Right, but there's another one. Right. Let me look for this real quick because it talks about the it's right there on the tip of my tongue. If I know it, I'll see it. What does it say? It basically goes into thy life hanging in doubt. All right. See if I can find that real quick. But basically, man, because ultimately, man, Esau, Edom, they're going into slavery, and they're going to be under the rulership of. Let's start with our big brother, our Lord Yahweh Shai, and then you're going to have the functioning body, the governing body, which would be the 144,000. But basically, the whole nation of Israel, Esau as well as the other nations, but more so Esau, they're going to be in subjection to the nation of Israel. All right, just like we've been under subjection under these people for so long. All right, the table is going to the script is going to flip. All right. But let me just read this. Reading here, verse 16, it says, "Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field. Cursed shalt thy basket in thy store. Cursed shalt thou Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body and the fruit of thy land, the increase of thine kin, of thy kind, thy kin, in the flocks of thy sheep. Cursed shall thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shall thou be when thou goest out. Because basically, just like concerning Jake, man, Jake get pulled over by the policeman. They see those flashing lights in the rear view mirror, all right? Jake, their heart starts beating fast and whatnot. They start panicking and whatnot, all right? Because again, part of the curses, man, our life, we be hanging in doubt, not sure if we're gonna, when we leave the house, if we're gonna make it back, and that's something that's going to, again, that's gonna come back heavy on these nations, all right? Everywhere, you go, man, amen. Because in the kingdom, man, amen. The scriptures say the eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. Meaning, there's going to be eyes everywhere. You're going to have chariots patrolling the streets and the highways and the airways and whatnot. All right, just like how you see out, you like try to commit a crime now. You'd be lucky if you escape because there's cameras everywhere. But even with that, man, there's certain blind spots and whatnot. But like I said, in the kingdom, man, there's not gonna be no blind spots or anything. We're gonna be Esau's ass, all right? Because again, these curses, man, when the Lord really flips the script, man, it's gonna be heavy on these nations. These curses are gonna fall heavy on these nations. I'm gonna go ahead and get this in Deuteronomy 30:7. It says, "And Yahweh thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies, and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee." So you see, again, and this is what you're witnessing, man. This so-called Esau Edom is starting to feel, what we've been dealing with for so long, man. And being that, again, being that they don't, everything was given to them, and they didn't have to work for a damn thing. These Esau Edom, man, is so damn spoiled, man. They're living lavishly and everything, man. They didn't have, for the most part, man, they don't have to work for shit. They don't have to lift a finger to do anything, But again, these curses, man, the Lord is slowly but surely, man, he's starting to put these curses on Esau. And Esau, they're starting to lose everything, including their kingdom. All right? Which that's the main thing, because probably the title I'll put Babylon's bridge is falling down, and kind of patented after the song London's bridge is falling down, My Fair Lady, right? Babylon bridge is falling down, all right? And Esau's kingdom, the kingdom is being translated from Esau, again, and it's going to be given to the saints, all right? Like I said, starting with the head, our Lord, Yahweh Shai, and then, you're going to have the functioning government and the rest of the nation of Israel, all right? So this is what's currently being taken place. All right, and this is what's this is what's been prophesied. All right, you got some Israelite camps. They talk about how what did they say, man? I don't really be paying attention to what a lot of these other camps be saying, man. Unless some of the elder brothers that I watch, man, they bring something out, but I don't really pay attention. But they talk. Some of these Israelite camps teach that basically Esau is are the Japhites. Right, when the scriptures don't, let me just get it. There's nowhere in the prophecy that states that Japheth is going to be the last nation to rule. 2 Ezra 6:9, it says, "For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth." So you see, again, because there's nowhere in the scriptures does it talk about Japheth, being the last nation to rule before the Lord raises up the nation of Israel. All right, clearly here I just read that Esau, he's the end, and Jacob is the beginning of it. All right. So again, this is what you're currently witnessing, a transition of power. The kingdom being translated from one to the next. And that's how it's always played out. All right. The Assyrians ruled for a period of time, but then, when their time was ruled, the Babylonians would come in. The kingdom would be translated. From the Assyrians to the Babylonians and so on and so forth. All right, that's how it's always been, and that's how it's always worked out. And it's no different today. All right, Esau's kingdom is being taken out of power. All right, Jacob's next to rule, because you got those Moabites, those so-called Chinese, thinking they're next to rule, and this is why they're going to get jacked up. All right, they think they're next to rule. But again, nowhere in the scriptures does it talk about any other nation ruling. You know, after Esau, Edom, no other nation other than the nation of Israel, no other heathenistic nation is going to come back into power again. All right, and you know, Esau, they know this, and this is why, you know, they're doing everything in their power to you know, stop this from coming to pass. And you know, they're holding on to you know, the last legs of their empire. All right, but this thing again, man, it's going to be taken out violently. You know, because again, you know, Esau's not going down without a fight. You know, I'm gonna get this in Ecclesiasticus chapter 10 verse 8. It says, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries and riches got by deceit. All right, because like I said, you know, Esau, they've got everything. They've established this kingdom off of the blood, sweat, and tears of the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. Free labor. All right, they didn't have to work for anything. You know, and just like I quoted from the elder brother earlier, all right, Esau, he's about to lose everything he didn't even work for. You know, and they seen this, man. I mean, you know, I'm talking about these lower level Edomites, man. These average Edomites, you know, they know and sense that their kingdom is falling. All right. It says the kingdom is translated from one people to another, like I read in 2nd Ezra 6:9. All right. You know, Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning. And that's how it's always been. One nation ruled, and, you know, when their time came, the Lord would, you know, raise up another nation, you know, a transition of power. All right, because two kingdoms, man, two kingdoms can't, or so like two kings can't sit on the same throne. All right, you know, as the scriptures talk about, you know, and Esau, man, he has proven that he's incapable, he's unfit to rule. Because just look at the state of the world now. All right, everything is polluted, everything is messed up, man. Everything is all backwards, like the scriptures say. Like I often mention, the earth, the foundation of this earth is all off course. All right, not just America. This whole earth is off course. All right, everything is backwards. So they've been proven that they're unfit to rule. All right, so and this is why righteousness has to be established. You know, this is why, hence, the theme of this year, by the apostle Elder Tahar, the hastening of the coming of the Lord, man. All right, you know, because the saints are groaning. You know, the saints are tired. We are tired. We're fed up with this place, and not just us, man. You know, creation itself, even the other nations. All right. Because like I often mention as well, you know, concerning these other nations, man, even the nations in the kingdom, they're going to be ruled, and they're going to be ruled in righteousness. All right. Even the nations, you know, they're going to be somewhat they're going to be straight in the kingdom. All right. Because everything's going to be done in righteousness, you know. So even the nations, man, even though they're going to be under some harsh rulership for the first 1,000 years, you know, after that, man, they're going to be straight, man. After that 1,000 years, man, you know, and Esau's done away with, and he's exterminated, man. You know, even the nations are going to be all right, you know. So get to a few more of these precepts that I got lined up. First, Colossians 1:13, it says, who have delivered us from the power of darkness. All right, and Esau, he's he's the perfect representation of that darkness. All right, the son of perdition. All right. It says, and have translated us into the kingdom of his dear son. All right, which again, going to start with our Lord and Savior Yahushua. All right, once he comes, you know, and invades this earth with the many chariots and angels. All right, and take Esau out of power to deliver the ultimate blow to this place. Because like I said, Esau, man, they're clinging on to the last strings of this empire, the last leg of this empire, and the Lord's just gonna come in with and just completely swipe these people off their feet, man. They're gonna be taken out the way, all right, and then righteousness will be established, all right. So you see, again, this is we're currently witnessing this transition of power. Esau is being taken out of the way, all right, and these Edomites, they're feeling it, all right, because like I said, man, the clips that I played, man, that's just one of many clips of Esau going in. Esau going in, you know, because, you know, being that, you know, they pretty much get things their way, man. They're spoiled on it and on every level, man. And being that, you know, you know, they're not getting things like they used to before. They don't get it like that how they used to before. So that's why, you know, you have stuff like this. So Esau, you know, they just walk up into the store, and, you know, they think they could just walk up into the store and, you know, they basically, they getting treated like a nigger, basically. All right. got cops approaching them and dragging them out of stores and whatnot, dragging them out of these stores and whatnot. You got these Edomites protesting what do they call the no face mask protesters and whatnot. All right, because they don't know how to deal with everything that we've dealt with, man. They can't handle it, But nevertheless, man, these curses they're coming, and they're coming hard for Esau, man. All right, like I read in Deuteronomy 37, man. All right, we're currently witnessing this transition. All right, and it's a beautiful thing, man. Call all Yahweh Shem Shai, But I'm gonna get this last one here, and let me read this first, because again, being that we're in the time of darkness, all right, we're where the scriptures talk about how what does it say? Going into the third day, right? I'm gonna read this Song of Songs. What is that? Songs of Solomon, right? Oh, snap. Go back to that. It says, chapter 2, verse 11, it says, "For lo, the winter is past, the rain is over and gone. The flowers appear on the earth. The time of the singing of birds is come, and the voice of the turtle is heard in our land." So you see, this whole time, this time period of darkness and, just like winter, everything is just dead, crops, don't really yield their food. And, it's just a time of just wasteness and just darkness. All right. But the time is coming where, the dawning of the age, the new age, the new era. All right. Which again, that would be the kingdom. All right. The time of, flowers springing forth and birds chirping and things of that nature. All right. And ultimately that comes when Yahweh Shai shows up to, redeem us out of this hell. All right. Everything's going to be refreshed. Everything's going to be renewed. All right. So this is a time that we're coming into, man, and like I said, man, this transition, man, it's a beautiful thing, because, I always talk about how this earth, man, it has a cancer, man. This earth is sick and it's crying out. The earth itself is crying out. All the inhabitants, all the creatures, even the other nations, we're crying out, man. The saints, we're all crying out to Yahweh Shem Shai. All right. This is the time that we're coming into, man. And this is why we've been quoting a lot, man. Brothers have been quoting this a lot. Revelations 12:12. Esau, knowing that he has but a short time, all right, he's getting ready to come down with that great wrath, because he knows his kingdom is going. All right. He's losing his kingdom. This is why they're getting ready to make their moves, man. All right. But let me get this. Revelations 18:2. It says, "And he cried mightily." But just, I'm getting this just because the time that I'm going to put, Babylon's bridge is falling down, right? Because America is Babylon, according, to, if you have the understanding. Revelations 18:2 says, "And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit in the cage of every unclean and hateful bird." So you see, this place is done, man. And again, we're currently witnessing the falling of Babylon. All right, Babylon the Great, this great whore. All right, so again, man, just witnessing this transition, man. It's a beautiful thing, man. If you're in the right spirit, man, you be giving all glory to Yahweh Shem Shai. If you're in the right spirit, man. All right. Because next is it comes to kingdom, and next we're next to rule, man. Yeah, things are gonna get bad. All right, like it says, the scriptures say, before the kingdom come, man, we got to get through this last stretch of hell and tribulation, Jacob's trouble. All right. But what gives us hope, man, is because after the end of all that, man, the kingdom, man, we get the kingdom, and we're next to rule. And after that, man, that's it. We're ruling forever. There's never going to be any other nation no nation is going to come up and try to fight against the nation of Israel or none of that. All right. Once this go around, once, we're in the kingdom and the kingdom is established and the Israelites are in rulership, that's it. All right. It's going to be like that for forever and all of eternity. So again, stuff like this, man, it should, bring you joy, man. You should be glorifying Yahweh Shem Shai all the more, So with that, I'm going to give all credit to Yahweh Shem Shai, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And until next time, Lord's will, I say shalom.